I heard breathing under my bed. Not loud, not fast, just slow breathing like someone trying very hard to stay quiet. I didn't move for almost 5 minutes. And the worst part is, by the time I heard it, the person had already been living in my apartment for days. This happened when I was 19. I had just moved out for college and got my first place. It was a small apartment in an old 3-story building. Nothing fancy. Just 6 units total, 2 apartments on each floor. The rent was cheap, which was the main reason I picked it. The place had a small kitchen, a living room, a bathroom, and 1 bedroom. The bedroom wasn't big, but the bed frame was one of those tall metal ones with a lot of space under it. I didn't think about that at the time. Across the hallway from me lived an older man named Carl. I didn't know much about him. We just said hello sometimes when we passed each other. The first week in the apartment was normal. I went to classes, worked a late shift at a grocery store, came home, slept, repeated the same routine. Then little things started happening. At first, I thought I was just forgetting stuff. I would come home and see my kitchen chair pulled out a little from the table. Not much, just a few inches. One day my bathroom cabinet was open. Another day my bedroom door was halfway open when I was sure I left it closed. But the weirdest thing was my TV remote. I always kept it on the small table next to my couch. One evening I came home, and it was sitting on the kitchen counter. I remember staring at it for a while and trying to remember if I carried it there earlier. I convinced myself I must have. Living alone for the first time messes with your head a little. You second-guess yourself a lot. After that, I started noticing food disappearing. Nothing big, just small things. I stood in the hallway staring into the dark bedroom. Nothing moved, no sound. I grabbed my phone and called the police. The operator told me to leave the apartment immediately, so I backed out slowly and went into the hallway. Those 10 minutes waiting for the police felt like an hour. I kept imagining the guy coming out of the apartment and running down the hallway toward me. But the door stayed closed. Finally, 2 police cars pulled up. The officers went inside with flashlights. I stayed outside the building. A minute later, I heard one of them yell, "Police, come out!" Then loud crashing sounds. More yelling. After a few moments, they dragged a man out of the apartment in handcuffs. I had never seen him before in my life. He looked dirty and tired, like he hadn't slept properly in days. One of the officers brought out a backpack they found under my bed. Inside were water bottles, snacks, and some of my food from the kitchen. But there was something else in there too. Some of my clothes. The police later told me something that still gives me chills. The man had been hiding in my apartment for several days. Every morning he waited until I left for school or work. Then he came out from under the bed. He would eat my food, use the bathroom, and walk around the apartment. Then, before I came home, he would crawl back under the bed. That's why things kept moving. That's why food was disappearing. That's why the bathroom sink was wet. The officer asked me one question before they left. He said, "Have you ever heard noises at night before today?" I told him no. He looked at my bed frame and said something that made my stomach drop. With a bed this high, he could have been under there while you were sleeping. I moved out 2 days later. I left almost everything behind. And to this day, I refuse to sleep in any bed that has space underneath it. Because sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night. And for a few seconds, I swear I can hear breathing.